How do you deal with people who don't answer questions? You ask a simple question and somehow you never get an answer. Instead, you get a story, a deflection, or worse, a response to something you didn't even ask. And now you're stuck trying to figure out what just happened. Here's some truth. When someone won't answer a question, that's not confusion. That's a strategy. And if you don't recognize it, you lose control of the conversation without even realizing it. And once you know how to handle it, everything changes. Because now you're not guessing what to say. You're asking with clarity and responding with confidence. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot it, how to handle it in real time, and how to stay in control without sounding aggressive or second-guessing yourself. But first, you need to understand what's actually happening. Because confidence in conversations doesn't come from saying more. It comes from seeing clearly what's happening in front of you. When someone avoids a question, it usually comes down to 1 to 3 things. They don't want to commit, they don't want to be exposed, or they want to control the direction of the conversation. Because the moment they answer directly, they lose control of the outcome. And they do it in ways that sound completely normal. They'll give you a long answer that never actually answers your question. They'll shift the topic slightly. So now you're talking about something else. Or they'll respond with a question of their own. And now you're on defense. And here's where it gets tricky. If you follow them there, you've already lost control of the conversation. So the goal isn't to argue, it's to recognize the move and respond in a way that brings it back. And once you start seeing these patterns, they show up the same way every time. Let's break down what this actually looks like, because once you can label it, you can handle it. Number 1, the redirect. You ask, did you complete the report? They respond, well, we've had a lot going on this week. Sounds reasonable, but it's not an answer. Number 2, the over-explanation. You ask a yes or a no question and get a 2-minute explanation. This creates confusion, so the original question gets lost. Number 3, the question flip. You ask something direct and they respond with, well, what do you think? Now you're the one answering. Number 4, the partial answer. They answer just enough to seem like they responded, but never actually commit. Now, here's a mistake most people make next. They try to explain more. They try to clarify. They try to be understood. And that's exactly what makes it worse. If you want to deal with this effectively, you don't need to be louder. You need to be more precise. Because confidence doesn't come from dominating the conversation. It comes from staying clear when things get messy. First, bring it back. You don't chase the new direction. You return to the original question. Right, but did you complete the report? No extra explanation, no added emotion, just clarity. This is what confidence looks like in real time. You don't chase the conversation, you reset it. Most people would explain why they're asking again, you don't. The second is, use the closed loop technique. If they keep avoiding it, you close the loop. I just want to make sure I understand. Is this a yes or a no? You're not forcing an answer. You're removing the escape route. Now, there's nowhere for them to hide. You're not being aggressive. You're being clear. And clarity builds confidence because you're no longer hoping for an answer. You're guiding the conversation toward one. The third is call out the pattern without attacking. If it keeps happening, say, I notice we keep moving away from the question. I'd like to come back to it. You're not accusing. You're just pointing out what's happening. This is a shift most people never make. Instead of reacting, you're observing. And when you can observe what's happening in real time, you stop feeling overwhelmed by it. The fourth is use silence. This is one of the most powerful tools you have. Ask the question again and stop talking. No rescue, no follow-up, just silence. This is where confidence really shows up because you're not rushing to fill the space anymore. You're comfortable holding it. And that's what makes people uncomfortable enough to answer. Most people can't. But here's the part that most people miss. Even if you do all of this right, it still might not work. And at this point, it's no longer a communication issue. It's a choice. And that tells you something important. You're not dealing with confusion. You're dealing with avoidance or control or both. And this is where most people lose confidence because they keep trying to fix the conversation. Confidence isn't forcing an answer. It's recognizing when one isn't coming. And this is where you shift your mindset. You stop trying to get an answer and you start evaluating the situation. In some cases, you end the conversation right there. You stop playing a game that was never meant to be answered in the first place. You need to ask yourself, is this someone who's willing to engage honestly, or someone who's trying to manage perception instead of reality? Because once you see that clearly, you stop wasting energy on conversations that were never open to begin with. You stop trying to convince. You stop trying to chase clarity from someone who won't give it. And you start making decisions based on what you're seeing. That's where real confidence starts to show up. And if you want to build that kind of confidence consistently, not just in moments like this, but in every conversation, that's exactly what I teach inside my course, the Confidence Formula. It's a step-by-step system to help you speak clearly, stay composed, and stop second-guessing yourself in real time. I'll link it below if you want to go deeper. Now, here's where this becomes simple. People fall into 3 groups. Open, where they'll answer when asked directly. There's neutral, they might need clarity or structure. And there's closed. They avoid, deflect, or control. And once you recognize which one you're dealing with, you stop guessing yourself, because now you know how to respond. The goal isn't to win the conversation every time. It's to understand what kind of conversation you're in. Because in a world where people deflect, redirect, and avoid, clarity becomes your advantage. And confidence comes from knowing you don't have to chase answers anymore. You don't have to recognize what's actually happening and respond accordingly. If you've ever dealt with someone like this, drop a comment below and tell me what they said. And if you think this is frustrating, it gets even more challenging when someone doesn't just avoid your question, but starts twisting what you said. That's where staying calm becomes everything. Watch this next video and I'll show you exactly how to do that and handle it in real time. I'll see you there.